Yo, all right. Hey, it's Wednesday, January 29th. We're back for we're gonna make it official. So we're gonna talk about Kansas City, the Kansas City Chiefs, or is it the Kansas City Thieves? That's what we're gonna get into today. Because you know how this is going on, Mr. Duval. There's a lot of talk out there in the sports world about how Patrick Mahomes has the officials in his pocket, and lo and behold, every game. Well, almost every game, something is coming up.
Yeah.
So the talk on the street is they're now the Kansas City Thieves. Um,
Uh,
but but, but Kansas City did advance to the Super Bowl, and so did the Philadelphia Eagles, which also is going to be a team we discussed too because they have a famous play, right, that we're going
right.
to talk about that they're known for too. So, you ready to make it official?
Let's make it official.
Yes, sir. All right, we are back. We're here to make it official. Mr. Stephen Duval is in the house, our football rules analyst, and I am Mr. 411, your host. Hey, make sure you follow us on YouTube. Just type in 411 Sports World Network. Make sure you do that on YouTube. And then also TikTok, right there, Mr. 411. Same thing on Instagram, Mr. 411. All right, so hey, it's time to get down to business, man, because Super Bowl is here. Fans are all pumped up, and the Eagles and Chiefs are back at it. And I guess what? You are a Jacksonville Jaguars fan, which I learned this year, in having discussions with you.
Yeah.
So good luck with them when it comes to the draft and so on and so forth. But right now it's the Eagles and Chiefs again. Before we get into the officiating side of things, just how did you feel? How you feel about these two teams? Are you glad that these are the two teams that are meeting in the Super Bowl?
I think both teams are worthy.
Okay.
You got um, to me now, the way I look at it, I sum up this season. You didn't have just, one outstanding team and then other teams that, that were fighting for it. You've got several teams that were great teams. So you got two of the greatest teams getting ready to play uh, for the title. But man, uh, that team from Buffalo, man, that they are a good football team, a
Yeah.
real good football team. Now that team from Washington, the Redskins, good football team, man, good football team. They just ran into a buzzsaw. I think Philadelphia was up, and prepared to play them and just had one of their greatest games. I think they probably played pretty much their best game of the season against the Redskins because they won't fight.
Oh
And
yeah.
so they are peaking at the right time. And so I like both teams. And
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a good game. I really do.
Yeah, I do. I agree with you. I think it lines up to be a it should be an excellent Super Bowl. It should definitely, at the very least, be an entertaining Super Bowl that will keep the
Yes.
fans engaged for 4 quarters or more. But that's the number one thing for me when it comes down to the Super Bowl.
Right.
If my team's not there, Seattle, as long as it's a good game, I'm happy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm good with it. I want to see a competitive game, and I think that's what we're gonna get.
Yeah.
Both teams, like you said, have done a great job, and this is a rematch. So they're two teams that are
Mhm.
familiar with being near the top.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, here's the top of our card for today, our playbook. We're gonna start with fourth down, Mr. Duval. The fourth down play in the Kansas City Buffalo game, where there was some questions about was it a first down, was it not? I think one of the rules analysts on the broadcast was even saying that it was a uh, first down, if you will, in his judgment. But the officials on the field who make the final decision, they obviously thought different. So let's play it, okay? It's
Okay.
about 20 seconds. We'll play it, and then you just let me know if we need to play it again. And then when we come back on the other side of that, break down how the officials even mark the first down. So you have officials on both sides of on one on each sideline, etc. So just go into that too, and then ultimately give us your overall take on the call. Here we go.
After review, the ruling in the field stands as called. A first down, Kansas City. Does the ball cross that definitively? How did you see it, Gene? I felt like he gained it by about a third of the football, Jim. That was just my take on the play. Tough play. I agree.
So they
All
say
right.
they did make the first down, right?
Well, that's what the Gene Cerrato, I think that's how you say his last name. He's the
Right.
rules analyst. I think he's a former NFL official, and he's
That's
on the
right.
broadcast. So they go to him whenever there's questions about plays or need clarification. And in his judgment, he was saying what he said that he believed was a first down. Now, ultimately, it comes down to the officials that are working the game to make that official call. So, what do you think? Do you agree with Gene? And then also, how did they come to this call?
Well, did they review it? They reviewed it, right?
Well, no, I don't think they were. I don't know if they reviewed. I don't think they reviewed. I think they just
Okay.
had the judgment on it, and maybe they
Okay.
did review it. I think they
Oh,
did. Matter of fact, I
oh,
think they did review it.
okay.
I'll try to
So,
get that for you. But
so
ultimately, they made the call that it was that they did not convert it.
okay. That say so they said they didn't make it. So after
Correct.
the review, they say they didn't make it, right?
They well initially they said he didn't make it anyway. And
Okay.
and so when that was just a replay that was being
Okay.
played by CBS right there that we're watching there. And that's
Right.
when the analyst, uh Gene, the former official, they
Right.
went to him in the meantime to pick his brain.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so they reviewed it, and so at the end of the day, what was the final call? Because that's what I'm confused about now.
Oh, that there was not a conversion. The
Okay.
score
So
was
the ball.
21-22 at the time. Buffalo was up 22-21. They went
Okay.
for it on fourth down, and
Buffalo was
that's where Josh Allen got
okay.
stopped. Yeah.
Okay. So they saying, and so the official said, at first said it didn't make it either, right, with his spot. Yeah.
Correct.
And so it wasn't enough evidence to overturn it. Okay, I remember the play now. Yeah,
All
and
right.
it was a couple of them that were close like that. First of all, I cut my teeth on this position. Oh,
Yes.
those are the wing officials,
Okay.
and um, wing officials have the spot from the 2 to the 2. They got every spot. They're supposed to spot the ball and get the spot from the 2 yard line, from the 2 to the 2. That's what we say. The only time somebody else gets the spot is if it's beyond the 2, a deep judge or whatever. So we cut our teeth on 96 yards. So 99 out of 100 spots in that game are going to be called by these guys, by your
Okay.
ring officials. They're getting that spot. And when you see them coming down the field, even on long passes and stuff like that, uh, now I know they'll let him mark it in the NFL or whatever, but that is still his spot. Your spot, you got the spot all the way from the 2 to the 2. So that being said, wing officials are just used to spotting that ball. You got to see where that ball, how far they advance that ball and everything else. Now, when you got, say, 2,000 pounds that are surrounding that ball, it's kind of difficult sometimes. So
Hmm.
you pretty much you're seeing what you can see, and you got different angles. You got somebody on the other side that's spotting the ball, uh, uh, and you're supposed to be in concert. It shouldn't be any argument as to where that spot is. But there are times when you might see something from your angle that the other wing official across the field didn't see. Uh, one of the most common one thing would be was the runner's knee down. You might see the ball extended out, but I might have an angle where I saw his knee down before he got to that spot where you're trying to spot it. So I'm going to be emphatic about no, this is the spot right here. So, but we never argue about spots. If I'm spotting the ball and then you tell me you've got something different, then I got to trust your judgment that you saw something that I didn't see or whatever. And then that's when we spot that ball. So most of the time you see them pretty much in concert, as that ball is being spotted.
Mm-hmm.
Close plays like that, fourth down plays, somebody normally takes charge. When you bust in, you coming in fast. You're not walking in to get that spot now. On those kind of spots, you're getting in there as quick as you can, and you want to put before anybody else puts that ball down. You want that ball, and you're gonna put it on your foot at the spot what you think it is, where you think that ball went down. So it's is it exact science? Of course not. There's no way to see a millimeter or a centimeter or something or whatever, but you're doing the best you can with the evidence that is being shown to you. And those guys are pretty spot on when they spotting that ball for the most part. When you see replays and you start seeing where they're spotting that ball, normally they got it right. And but they do have that replay rule where they can go over and take a look at it or whatever. And so somebody's opinion from the press box is one thing, but you got to trust those guys on the field. Now that replay official might not have seen enough to overturn that call.
Right.
See, so that the reason why they spotted that ball in that particular place is because of such and such and such and such and such and such. So but is it exact science? No. Then you got angles on cameras and that sort of thing, what they're looking at in the booth. It could have very well. He might have made it by, the hair of my chin or something like that. But you just got to trust in that process. Big play, though. Big play.
Yeah.
And again, like I always say, I know our conspiracy theorists, will be saying, oh, there they go, the Kansas City Thieves and all this, all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, they did the best they could with that particular play.
So how about this? Mr. Duval? Uh, I agree wholeheartedly that either way, where the ball was spotted, even if it was enough for the first or not enough for the first, it was probably going to be inconclusive. So
Exactly.
as an official, knowing that this play is pretty much inconclusive, what ultimately determines where you place that ball in this situation? Like, what are some of the keys at what they're looking at with all this humanity there to
Okay.
really determine it? Like the player's helmet, I know the actual ball, but sometimes that ball is tucked in by the quarterback or the running back. So what are the keys? Like, what are we looking at? We're looking
Okay.
at the white of the white of the football, or
Right.
what? What are we looking
Well, you
for?
got an imaginary spot in your mind as to
Okay.
where they need to get as far as the first down. You know where that first down spot is, right?
Okay. Are you using the yard marker or
The yard markers, most of the time on these fields now, their fields are marked so perfectly now that
okay?
if that ball started on what we call a tick, if it's on a yard line, they reach a yard line. I mean, we ain't doing that measurement. We ain't measuring all night long or whatever. You
Hmm.
very seldom see a measurement in the NFL anymore.
That's a good point.
Very, very, very seldom see them because you got these ticks now, and these fields are marked off so perfectly. So when I see that person has reached that point that will give them that first down, then we're going with the first down. You'll see that guy give that signal. He'll point. He'll be pointing. He'll be telling you that is a first down, and we ain't
Gotcha.
coming up there to look at it or anything like that. Now, sometimes if it's extremely close, you won't give the first down signal. You'll be telling the referee it's close, it's close, it's close, and let him come up there and take a look at it, and then it's his decision as to whether we're gonna measure or not. Those wing officials don't make that decision. The referee, the white hat, is
Hmm.
gonna come in, and when he looks at it, if he thinks it's close enough to measure, then that's who makes the final decision as far as whether that ball is gonna get measured or not. But that decision as to where to place that ball is solely on those wing officials. This is where
Okay.
this spot is going to be.
Yeah.
And we're trying to get as close as we possibly can. And we're trying to mirror that spot, that I'm as close as I can to what you got over there. And I'm mirroring my spot. I don't see anything different from your spot. So when we come in, it's got to look good. We can't be off a half a yard, and I'm saying the spot is here and you're saying the spot is back there.
Yeah.
When we make that decision, we got to mirror that spot. But again, is that exact science? No, it's not. Because even if we're
Right.
mirroring it, if we're mirroring it from two different angles, if you really ran something to really measure to see if we were exactly on the same plane, we'd probably be off an inch or so, or a half inch or so. So
Yeah, because
it's
there's no magnetic line
no,
going across every
no,
yard line,
that's right. And that
you
line
know,
they're
to
putting up there is what they're drawing, but we don't have that luxury of that line out there on the field. Ain't nobody
right.
drawing the line for us. We're drawing that imaginary line in our mind, you know.
Which triggers me to remember this because like growing up playing a lot of Madden on the video games, the John Madden football games, and when
Hmm.
you play video games, there's lines already there for you. The first down marker, the yard line the game, all that kind of stuff. It's on the screen when you're playing the game, and then of course like channels like like the Fox, CBS, all of them, they started implementing that stuff
Right.
over the years. So a
Yeah.
lot of people they just look at that stuff as normal. There was once upon a time there was nothing on your screen at
Right.
when you watch the game too. But
It-
with that said, right, I think a lot of times we do think that the lines that we see on TV, the yellow line, yard to gain, the field goal line, how far they are, in their typical range of making field goals, all that stuff is not exact just because it's on your
no,
screen. So I
that's
just want to
right.
make sure people understand that. But
Exactly.
hey,
Right.
but a big shout out to Nard, the Nard report. He says Josh Allen definitely got the first. So that's how he feels about it. And we're gonna give a big shout out to Nard. He has the Nard report is on all social media platforms. So make sure you follow Nard on YouTube, Instagram, and
All right.
TikTok because he's out there. The Nard report. We appreciate him dialing in. So he
All
feels
right.
like Josh got it.
We want you
Yeah.
at our next meeting of officials too, Nard. We want to put you on
Uh
the field and
oh.
put you in those spots. Let
All
you make
right.
those
You hear that,
calls.
Nard? You hear that, Nard? Gonna get you out there. They're gonna get you to make it official.
That's right.
Hit me up, Nard, if you're interested. Steve Duvall is a great contact for you if you want to get into football a little bit. It'll help you with your reporting too. So
Right.
it's a big thing. Hey,
Right.
but he does feel like Josh Allen got the first. There's a lot of
Right.
people that feel that way.
Yeah.
How did you feel about it, Mr. Duvall? Did just off your
Well,
eyeballing it?
after you review it, 100 times and that sort of thing, and then you use that magnifying glass and everything else, yeah, they could have very well given that, given it, it was the first down. But when you saying it definitely was, and it's a no brainer. No, that play was close, man. That play was close, and you had that beef in there. And when you're looking at it, and you're looking at that ball, can you 150% say that
Ooh,
his knee didn't go down before he got that ball to that spot? As they were tackling him and everything. So you got
man.
all those variables in there, and
And
they
I
call what
and
they
I
saw.
Yes, sir. And I have one more thing on this particular topic before we go to the catch, which we're going to talk about next. Um, which was we'll get into that in a second. But when you have the two sideline judges, as you call them, correct?
You're the
One on
wing
each
officials.
side.
Yep, yep,
No,
yep.
two
Right,
wings. Okay, the two
right,
wing officials. All right. Sometimes it looks like on when you're watching the game, one wing has like a foot here, and then the other one has a foot like here, and then they kind of figure out what's in the middle. What's going on there when we see that?
right. All you're doing is just lining it up. I'm
Okay.
going with the person that made the call. And if I'm off, uh, he was closer to the action. He could see it better than I could. All I'm going to do when I say mirror, I'm just going to adjust my spot to his spot
Okay.
because
Gotcha.
we're saying that this guy has the better look at it. He's got the better angle, and that's the spot we're going to go with.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Understood. I appreciate
right.
that. And Nar
Yeah.
said, "Yep, he'll be there." So I'm gonna get you hooked up. I'm gonna get Nar hooked up with you, and
All right. Okay.
so he can help with these fourth down plays.
That's exactly. Need all the help we can get.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. All right, let's go to the catch. Okay. Let me see. We have that video, but we're gonna go to the catch because this was an interesting play here. There was on this play the offense and the defense going after this pass, and let's just run it and let me know what you think. And we'll run it one more time. All right, let's run it one more
Okay.
time. I had the banner. I had the banner going across the bottom.
Okay.
All right, and then we're gonna run this one more time. All
Hmm.
right, and now you can narrate as it's going. Okay, the
Okay.
floor is yours, Mr. Duval. I'm
All
just
right.
gonna have it rolling. I'm gonna have it looping while you're talking.
Okay. First of all, this is an outstanding play by two fantastic football players, the defender and also the offensive player there, the receiver, and the defensive back. Uh, you know, to be able to contort your body and do all of that, to even, to grab that ball in the air and all it was an outstanding play by both of them. Now, here's what the rule says. Rule says anytime the ball is possessed by the offensive and defensive player at the same time, it always goes to the offensive player. So if both of y'all have control of that ball and you come down, then it's always going to go to the offensive player. Uh, that's the rule. So any tie, even you say tie goes to this or whatever, but if they both have possession of that ball, uh, then the offense will get the ball, and that's by rule. Now, the question was whether this ball touched the ground uh, when they came down and that sort of thing. They both had control of that ball. Now,
Hmm.
whether that ball touched that ground or whatever, they still had control of that ball. So if the ball didn't come loose, it never came out. They had you got four hands on the ball pretty much. So it's no wiggle room in there. And because when they came down, the position of their hands on that ball, when it came down and touched the ground or whatever, it wasn't loose. They both had possession of that ball. So I think this was a great catch. That's what I believe they ruled it a catch, didn't
They
they?
did.
They did because they said that both the offense and defense had possession of this ball when they came down to the ground, right? And it was
Yes,
nothing there
sir.
to jar that ball loose and everything else. So by rule, the ball is going to go to the offense. Now, say the defender had intercepted the ball, right? And by the time he hit the ground with this guy on him, the offensive player took it from him. Then that's altogether a different scenario uh, because he had possession of the ball when the ball became dead, and if he takes it out of his hand, then that's altogether different. But both of these guys had that ball, and they both of them made a great play on that ball, and they both
Yeah.
you got no pass interference and nothing in there because they both are playing the ball, and a lot of people don't realize don't understand the rule is that the defender and the offensive player, they both have a right to the ball because it was thrown by the offense. That doesn't mean you can't go and try to catch the ball as a defender. So that ball belongs to either one of them. either one of them caught it. But when it comes down in both of them's possession, then the offensive player will get the ball. The
And
ball
you
will belong
being
to the offense.
yes, sir. And you being the football, obviously the football expert, and then I'm in the basketball world as far as officiating goes. And by the way, you do basketball as well too. So, but it just triggered my mind. And since you do basketball, you understand where I'm going with this. This will be a hell ball in basketball, right?
That's right.
and
That's right.
we're going to the alternate possession arrow,
Right.
and in
That
this case, since they're the pros, they're tossing it. They don't use an AP arrow in the NBA, so
right.
they would toss it in it, toss it up for a jump ball,
That's right.
play. Uh,
That is
I
correct.
wonder why in football they don't have any type of simultaneous possession type thing. It's a tie to
Well,
the runner. I mean, tied to
but
the
that's
offense
but they're
here.
saying it never left possession of the offense. So by you possessing the ball at the same time, it never got out of their hands. So
Wow,
you were in possession of it also, you never were. The offense was never out of possession of the ball. So that's why it's going to go to
mm,
the offense all the time. You see?
interesting. Okay,
Yeah,
all
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Hey, but that was an awesome play, and like you
It
said, a
was.
great play. I love the way you started that off by saying it was a great play by both, and it was, and that's the
Yeah.
NFL, right? This is
Oh
the
yeah.
elite of the elite,
That's
and they make
exactly
plays
right.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And when
so
you're
great,
out
great
there,
play there.
man, when you're out there watching plays like that, and you seeing them live, when they're going on, when you see people make great plays like that, I mean, it's like wow, you know. And I've seen some great plays in my career, and I'm sure you have too. But it's
Hmm.
just you can appreciate these athletes, and a lot of people don't really give athletes all enough credit for what they do and what they, especially in football, man, when they go out there and do what they do, and to take the punishment that they take, and do the things that they do, it's I'm telling you, in real time, in real life, out there on that field, when you're listening to that contact in live action, when you're right next to it, it's something to behold, man. It
Yeah,
really is.
I believe it.
These
I
guys,
believe it.
these guys are hitting, man. So
Yes, sir. They
hats
moving.
off to them. Hats off to them. They earn every penny of that money that they make. And
There's no.
if everybody could do it, then they wouldn't be making all that money. But everybody
Oh
can't
yeah,
do what they do.
yeah, hell yeah, absolutely. But yes, I'm glad we went over that play. And hey, coming up at 9 o'clock, back in the 401 Sports World Network studio, there's going to be a mystery guest to further discuss the Super Bowl, and that person will be on at 9 p.m. Eastern.
Okay.
So we're moving along nicely here, Mr. Duval. We have one more play to cover.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna do that, but right before we do it, we're gonna jump to a quick break. All right, so it's gonna be about a minute and a half, and then we're gonna come right back.
All right.
Hey, what's going on? Ernest Bush Jr., CEO and president of East Bush Jr. Boxing Promotion. Over here off of Mercer University Drive, 3555 Mercer University Drive. You want some real good personal training? Meet your goals? Come see me. I can put you to work. Get those goals. Like I said, I'm located over here off of Mercer University Drive, over here in the Mercer Crossing Shopping Center. I'm open every day from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. The number over here is 478-254-5442. Or, if you're serious, you can reach me at my cell, 478-319-1502. Come be a part of a real boxing gym. Everything is real in here. Real trainer, real promoter. I promote pro shows in the city. But what I do best is personal training. I can get you in the best shape of your life. Give me a holler, man. Ladies, men, come holler at me. self-defense, anti-bullying. I also work with kids, starting from the age of 4 years old. That's right, 4. 4 to 7 and 8 to 16. Come shop with me. Have a great day. Peace.
All right. That's the Ernest Butts
All
Jr.
right.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah, that's the legacy there. He's following the legacy there. He's with his dad and all of that, man. That's generational there.
Yeah, that's good stuff. So make sure everybody
Very good.
support Ernest Butts
Right.
Jr. Boxing
Right.
Academy. Does great work in the communities, keeping a lot of kids active,
That's
and
right.
adults. By the way, every
Yeah.
now and then I get out there and I got some gloves. I lace them up every now and then and get out there, and I go as far as long as I can. He says I have a good right hand, so I'll take that.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
got a good
Well,
look, but I got no defense there.
hey, you notice I didn't say anything about my defense. I'm just gonna highlight the positives. You know what I'm saying?
I
Like
get it.
that's just got a right hand. That's it. So as long as
Yeah.
I'm in the ring alone, it is a good deal. Yes,
Right.
sir.
Right.
All right, man. But look, I know some people that need more than just a right hand and a left hand. They probably need a left foot, a right foot, and all the above. Is that
Right.
tush push? Is that tush
That,
push?
okay. Yeah.
This
All
play
right.
right here, Mr. Duval, the tush
Yeah.
push is obviously the Eagles have made this a popular play over the last couple of years. Um, and even in this scenario here, you can see at the goal line. And this is kind of like where a lot of things kind of went haywire in this game too, because Washington, the Commanders, they just decided, you know what, half the distance to the goal line is not that much anymore. We need to stop this play. So they started trying to time it. They were
Right.
diving over the top. They were jumping off sides. Now, and I say this too. Some of it they were being drawn off too, by the count and then the influx of the quarterback. Changing the level of his voice and hiking and everything. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna play a quick video on it, and then we're gonna go from there. So there was a couple things said. So let me play two videos back to back,
All
and
right.
then we'll come right back.
That would all. Can I see you as my crush? I will not judge.
All right, so so that's where you saw the defensive back linebacker, little defensive player jump over, trying to time it. It was a bunch of penalties behind it, and then let's listen to the officials. Let's listen to the officials here, okay? Give me two
Okay.
seconds, and let's hear the officials after all that was going on. And it's a lot of other offsides back to back to back. Here's the official.
Defense number 93. Washington has been advised that at some point the referee can award a score if this type of behavior happens again. For now, it's a replay of second down.
Mike, that's unbelievable.
Yeah, well, it is to keep this happening.
All right, the floor is yours, Mr. Duval.
That was the appropriate thing to do at that particular time, because now, at some point, you can make a mockery of the game. If you continue to do that, and like you say, half the distance wasn't about a half an inch anyway. The ball was pretty much on the goal line already.
Right,
So every time you penalize, so at some point, how long are you gonna let that go on? And that is a little known rule that you can award a score, even though they might not make that score uh, uh, by driving the ball in. The offense can be awarded, but I don't know about the defense being awarded a score. But the offense can be awarded a score if
hmm
you deem that the game has been taken, to a level of mockery that it just needs to stop.
right,
So uh, and they forewarned them about it. And but again, if you notice just how dangerous that situation is, and all these things about safety are coming up, blindside blocks, lead with the helmet to helmet contact, all these different safety issues that are coming up. But now you got a situation here at the goal line where people are running and leaping, you know, how dangerous is that? Not only dangerous for the guy that's leaping up in the air that could be caught midair, with something, but leaping into somebody like that, you could injure somebody, especially if they're not moving, they're not trying to block. If you just hit me and I'm just standing there, man, that
Mm,
you can deliver some pain. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say they're going to do something about this, about that play. They're gonna ban the tush push, and it's going to be because of that situation, because of situations like this, that it's really no way to defend that play when you look
mm.
at it, uh, because everybody's locking up, but now you got guys in there behind, So if you're lined up, it's almost like a scrum in rugby. you
Yeah.
know, you, you see they throw that ball in them. I mean, football, that don't make no sense. So um, these guys are too strong. They're too powerful. And when you got one guy, that's bench pressing, the whole gym uh, up there on the line of scrimmage, and now you got two or three more guys that, with that kind of power and everything else. Just imagine what that's doing, to your legs and everything else when you're in the middle of that. Now, I got to give that quarterback, Hurts, he got a lot of guts to be sticking his head in that situation like that, man.
Yeah.
Cause them some grown A men that up there trying to tackle him, and man, when you putting yourself in that situation, ain't no telling what they're doing when they're trying to tackle you in that situation.
Yeah. I
Grabbing,
mean, who's gonna see what's going on in there?
that's what I'm trying to tell you, man. Body parts and everything else, it's dangerous. And so I'm thinking I'm gonna go out on the limb to say you heard it from me first, that play is gonna be banned
All
because
right.
it just looks like it's it's an aid of the runner for sure. They're aiding the runner some kind of way.
Yeah.
Now, um, in order for the aiding the runner to be called, you got to have that person in front, from the side, or picking this runner up, pulling him through, and you can't do that either. That is a foul. But I don't see anything any different between this and aiding the runner. When you got two or three
Yeah.
guys whose only purpose is to push the pile, you know. And when
Yeah.
you're in the middle of the pile or you're at the bottom of that pile, man, it's rough going on.
Well, they better use it all they can in this Super Bowl because
I
if,
think
if it
so.
goes,
I think so
if it,
because
if,
I think we're seeing the last of that.
okay,
They
because if it's
they
gonna go in
they
that
just
direction, yeah.
because
And I like what you're saying about safety too. I like that when
yeah,
you're bringing
yeah,
in the safety piece of it. And it sounds like you're saying this is just it's a clear advantage to be able to just have a pile of people behind you,
yeah,
whether it's the
absolutely.
quarterback or whoever take the snap, and just shove them into the end zone. So,
And see, this stuff it filters down all these plays like this. Some high school somewhere is doing this. You know, they're practicing this every day now. That's what they're gonna
good
do. They
point.
this coach is gonna come up and say, well, we're gonna use the tush push. We're gonna do that. When we get close, that's what we're gonna do. And
Right, right, right.
I've saw it, I've seen it in the last couple of years. Uh Not to maybe that magnitude or whatever, but I'm seeing teams starting to use that now. And when they get them big old boys up there, man, they get to pushing and stuff. So I'm thinking, I'm just thinking it needs to be taken out of the game. You know, it's an illegal
All right.
play as far as I'm concerned.
Okay. Hey, you summed it up, and there's nothing really much to add to that, other than man, I appreciate you going over that tush push because that's a popular play again, and the
Yeah,
Eagles have made it work.
right.
And one of the things I keep thinking about it though is like the safety of the quarterback. Like, how
Sure.
many more times do you want to put your quarterback at risk of
Yeah,
a broken leg, broken arm, all kind of stuff can happen
all of that.
on that
That's the
play.
thing. Yeah,
Yeah, so the only thing I can think of that would be like a twist to it is to put like a running back at quarterback and let that running back take the snap and
yeah,
deal with that. But then you take away a possible pass threat out of it and all that. So who knows? But like you said, it may not even be in existence soon here. We'll see what the NFL does.
right.
All right. Well, look, we got that 9 o'clock show coming up. Special guest, the mystery guest will be on Super Bowl preview show. It's coming up at 9, so that's about 12 minutes from now. They give me a chance to drink a little water before I jump back in the studio.
All
But
right.
Mr. Duval, you know how we do it. We make it official.
That's
I'm
what
sure
we
we're gonna
do.
be back. We're gonna be back again because we got the Super Bowl. We're gonna have to break
Got the
down.
Super
So
Bowl. We got to go over that Super Bowl.
yes, sir. It's
So
gonna be
so
some
so
plays
who
in
you
that
got?
Super
Who
Bowl.
who you got? Who you got, Tyrone?
Ooh, you know what? I'm gonna tell you who I got, but I'm gonna talk about it at 9 o'clock.
Okay, okay, all right, all right.
But I will be revealing who I have.
Okay, got you. I got you. All right, man.
Yes, sir. I
All
really
right.
appreciate it.
You're
And
welcome.
I'll let you know on the side in case you have something you gotta take care of while the show's on.
Okay, all right.
All right.
I'm gonna
Hey, I
count on
thank
that
everybody
some
for
of it
tuning
though.
in for this. Oh yeah, please do. You'll get
All
to
right,
hear my prediction on that.
all right, all right.
All right. Well, all right.
Take
Well,
care,
Mr.
brother.
Duval, thank you. Take care,
Thank
and we'll
y'all.
see you soon. Everybody have a
Real
good one.
soon. You too.